Let's be honest, in today's world, the real seduction starts with a screen, one message, one sentence. One pause can leave someone craving your energy for hours, even days. But here's the truth. Desire isn't created by revealing everything. It's created by making someone feel something they didn't expect. A spark, a pull, a mystery that lingers long after the text is read. If you've ever wondered how to stand out, to leave a mark, to make someone silently ache for more of you without being explicit, you're in the right place. These are 7 text-based secrets, emotional, subtle, and powerful, that will make anyone crave your presence deeply and often. Have you ever noticed how the most unforgettable desire doesn't start with touch, but with tension? It's not the obvious that gets remembered. It's the unspoken, the nearly said, the just almost. Their energy that lingers. There's something dangerously attractive about knowing someone wants to share more. But they hold back. That pause, that breath, that silence between words, it creates something electric. You don't need to say everything. In fact, when you don't, that's when the mind starts craving. Craving deeply. People think words are what attract someone, but what truly pulls someone in is what you don't say. That teasing tone, the slightly unfinished sentence, the whisper of curiosity left hanging. Texts like, "If I told you what I was thinking right now, you wouldn't sleep," aren't just flirtation, they're mental touch. And mental touch, that's more powerful than physical hands. It's the energy that dances across the skin without ever needing to be there. It wraps around their thoughts. It haunts in the best way. You see, intimacy isn't always about revealing more. Sometimes it's about hiding just enough to drive them wild with wonder. It's about restraint, about offering a taste and then pulling back. That kind of pull, it creates depth. It awakens a hunger that no picture, no emoji, no over-explaining could ever reach. It's the art of being felt, not just seen. You become a thought they can't shut off. A soft voice they imagine whispering in the dark. Sometimes one message, just one, can pull them into your world. A message that doesn't show anything, yet makes them feel everything. That's power. That's seduction in its most refined form. It's not needy. It's not begging for attention. It's pure feminine command, soft, but impossible to ignore. You're not asking to be noticed. You're inviting them to get lost in the mystery of you. What makes someone crave you is when they can feel there's more you're not saying. When they know you're holding something back, but not out of fear, out of play. A confident, magnetic pull that tells them, "You'll have to earn the rest of me." And let's be real. That challenge, it's irresistible, especially when it's delivered with sweetness and a little slow, burning edge. When someone's mind starts to wander, you've already touched them without being in the room. Without even using your hands. That's when they replay your messages in the middle of the night. That's when their breathing changes reading your words. That's when they lie in bed and imagine, over and over. You don't need to say anything graphic, just a well-placed suggestion, a subtle hint of heat behind softness. That's what builds desire the way silk builds friction, gentle, smooth, but unforgettable. Don't just send messages, leave fingerprints. Let your words drip with quiet confidence. Let them pause, read again, feel a little restless. Let their curiosity ache. Let your restraint become the most intimate thing they've ever felt. This is not about showing less of yourself. It's about making them want more without knowing why. And once you learn to speak to their imagination, not just their eyes, they'll crave your presence, your energy, your silence. Even your absence, and the best part, they won't even understand why. They'll just know they're hooked. It always starts soft. A text that doesn't scream for attention, doesn't try too hard, just floats in quietly, and lands right where it matters. Something simple, something unexpected. I just caught myself smiling. That's it. No full explanation, no heavy emotion, just warmth enough to slip under their skin without warning. And that softness, that's what disarms. That's what makes someone stop mid, scroll, and feel it in their chest, or lower. You think desire is built with boldness, but the real game changer, tenderness when it shows up out of nowhere. It's the surprise of being seen in a moment where they weren't expecting anyone to look. A sudden softness in your tone when everything else in life feels sharp. That's what sticks. That's what seduces in ways they'll never admit out loud. When your words feel like fingers brushing down their neck, but never reaching the end, that's what they remember when the lights go out and the body starts aching for something deeper than just touch. Most people go for loud, obvious, desperate, but when you choose to be unexpectedly gentle, you shift the whole energy, you become the place they can breathe. And what happens when someone breathes around you? They let go, they open, they invite, because the truth is, everyone's craving softness, especially the ones who act like they're not. A message that says, "You feel safe to me," even when you're not using those words, is a message that reaches their most private places. The parts that never get touched, and it's not just what you say, it's the asterisk way asterisk you say it. It's how your words wrap around them, how they sound in their mind when they read them at midnight, alone, shirt off, mind racing. A small compliment, a slow rhythm in your sentence, a whisper in text form, that's how you get them to fall not for your looks, but for your energy, for how you asterisk feel asterisk, because when someone starts feeling you, it's already too late. You want to know how to make someone think about you when they lay in bed. Don't send a photo. Don't send a bold line. Send warmth. Send soul. Send something that makes their chest tighten and their breath change. The body always follows the mind, and if you can get inside their thoughts, even for a second, you've already started something they won't be able to control. You're no longer a person texting them. You've become a feeling they crave, and what's more intimate than that? Not being wanted just for what you show, but for how you make them feel when they're by themselves, screen glowing, heartbeat shifting. You become their calm and their tension all at once, a mix that's so rare it's addictive. What you send in a moment of tenderness, especially when it's not expected, becomes their quiet obsession, and it's not dramatic. It's not loud. It's not full of fire. It's something much more dangerous asterisk slow heat asterisk, the kind that simmers in their blood, whispers through their spine, and makes them wonder why your silence feels louder than anyone else's attention. It's not the picture. It's not the emoji. It's the emotion, the softness that makes them lean in, that one gentle sentence that wraps around their memory and stays there, long after they've turned off the phone, long after the night has gone still, long after their hands are restless and they don't even know why. Do you ever notice how the air feels different when someone isn't always around? There's a shift. It's subtle at first, almost unnoticeable, but the tension it creates can turn the simplest moments into something far more thrilling. The absence. It asterisk pulls asterisk. You don't need to chase them or demand their attention. Just by stepping back, creating a space, something starts to shift in their mind. It's magnetic. It's that feeling when they can't quite get you off their mind because they don't know when you'll be there again. When will they get the next taste? That's when craving begins. People think constant communication keeps someone close, but let me tell you, distance is the true seduction. Not physical distance, emotional distance. When you stop being so available, when you stop flooding them with messages and attention, you create something deeper, longing. Something primal begins to stir inside them. They start wondering why you're not texting, why you're not there as much, and in that wondering you've already started weaving your hold. It's strange, isn't it, how distance can be the key to closeness. The more you pull away, the more they reach for you. It's not the constant attention that makes them crave you, it's the moments of uncertainty, the unanswered texts, the silence after they reach out. It leaves them hanging, waiting, and this waiting, it builds desire in a way nothing else can. When you're not immediately available, they wonder what you're doing, who you're with, and most importantly, asterisk, why they're not in the picture right now, asterisk. It's in the pause, the brief break between your words and theirs, where the real magic happens. When they have to wait for your response, when they know you're not sitting by the phone, their imagination runs wild, and that's when the craving hits. It's in the silence where they asterisk feel asterisk your presence even more than when you're speaking. When you hold back, you allow their mind to roam, and that roaming, it gets tangled with thoughts of you. It's irresistible, like a magnetic pull they can't quite shake. Distance doesn't have to mean ghosting. It's not about cutting them off entirely, it's about timing. It's about creating moments of absence enough so that they miss your energy, your voice, your presence. It's about learning to step back when you know they're starting to lean in. That moment when they reach out and find the space between you two just a little wider than they expected, that's the moment they want you more than ever. They start thinking about you not because of what you said, but because of what you didn't. The space between you makes them feel your absence in a way that asterisk words asterisk never could, and as much as they might not admit it, they begin to yearn for you, crave that energy you give when you're present. The mere act of holding back is like a soft, unspoken promise. Asterisk, I am not always here, but when I am, I will make you feel things you didn't know you could feel asterisk. And in that promise, they start waiting. They start aching. They start needing. In love and in intimacy, the less you give, the more they'll want. It's the delicate dance of keeping them intrigued, engaged, and constantly wondering, why haven't you texted back yet? What are you doing in that moment of quiet? The power in distance is that it never fully lets go. It simply invites them to come closer, to seek you, to pull you back in. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to over-explain. You just need to let them wonder if they're losing you for a moment, and then watch how they lean into the next message, the next conversation, the next interaction with a hunger they never expected. So remember, when you hold back, it's not about playing games. It's about creating space for desire to grow. It's about making them feel that absence just enough to ignite their curiosity. And when you let them come to you, the craving they develop isn't just about asterisk wanting asterisk you, it's about needing you, in ways they didn't even know they could. There's a secret hidden in the quietest moments. The kind of moments where you barely say a word, yet your presence is felt so deeply it lingers in the air, making everything seem electric. The key to unlocking desire isn't about being loud or brash. It's about creating tension that teases the senses and leaves them craving more. And how do you create tension? With timing. The right pause at the right moment can make someone ache with anticipation. It's not about rushing or pushing. It's about letting the moment build, letting the heat rise gradually until they can't ignore it any longer. Every conversation holds the potential for something more. But it's not always about saying something bold. Sometimes it's the smallest hints, the softest suggestions that keep them hanging on your every word. You don't need to say what you want outright. Sometimes the most powerful message you can send is the one that leaves them wondering. A subtle shift in tone, a sentence that cuts off just before the climax. It's the kind of thing that sticks with them long after the conversation ends, as they replay it over and over in their minds, their thoughts drifting to what asterisk could asterisk have been said, what asterisk wasn't asterisk said. There's an undeniable power in making someone yearn for what's just out of reach. When you hint at something without fully giving it, you create a kind of hunger that they won't be able to escape. Think of it like this. The space between your words is just as important as the words themselves. When you create a pause, when you let the silence linger for just a beat longer than expected, you build tension. That tension is what makes them think of you when they shouldn't. It's what keeps them awake at night, wondering what you really meant, what you really want asterisk. When you speak, it's not just the message that matters. It's how you deliver it. The pauses, the tone, the timing. All of these little elements work together to create a rhythm that draws them in. It's a rhythm that keeps them hooked, keeps them guessing. When you speak with intention, when you leave space for the other person to fill in the blanks, you allow their imagination to take over. And once their imagination is engaged, you've already taken control. They start to picture you in their mind, feel your presence even when you're not physically there. That's when the craving begins. That's when they start to think about you in a way they never have before. And let's be clear, this isn't about playing games. It's about knowing how to communicate in a way that draws them closer, keeps them intrigued, keeps them wanting more. It's about knowing that sometimes less is more. When you don't spill everything out at once, when you leave a little bit to the imagination, you create a desire that can't be satisfied. They'll wonder, they'll crave, and that craving, it's something that builds over time, growing stronger with each passing day. Every message you send is an opportunity to stir something deeper within them, but it's not about sending a constant stream of words. It's about knowing when to hold back, when to let the silence do the talking. The moments when you leave them hanging, that's when the magic happens. That's when you make them feel the pull. The more you leave unspoken, the more they'll search for. And when they finally get close enough to understand, it'll be too late. They'll already be hooked. So how do you make them crave you over text? It's simple. You create a rhythm that is slow, deliberate, and full of intention. You give them just enough to keep them interested, but never enough to fully satisfy. You make them work for it. Make them yearn for what's just beyond their reach. You leave them with a taste, but never the full meal. And in doing so, you create a craving that will stay with them long after the conversation ends. There's something about a simple message that can set the heart racing, isn't there? You see, the real magic in communication doesn't come from the number of words you send, but from how those words make someone feel. You don't need to say much at all, but when you choose your words carefully, it creates an electrifying effect. Think of it like this. The right words don't just spark a reaction. They ignite something deeper within them. The key to creating that desire is to keep things intimate, but without overexposing yourself. It's about learning the art of mystery, the subtle play between revealing just enough to tempt and leaving just enough to the imagination to keep them coming back for more. Imagine this. You've just had a moment of connection, maybe a few hours ago or a day ago. Your mind is still buzzing with that connection, but instead of overloading them with your feelings, you let the tension build. You wait, you hold back, you keep a little part of yourself just out of reach, and then, out of nowhere, you send that message. The kind of message that's not overly eager, but speaks volumes without saying much. It's simple, but the energy behind it is undeniable. Suddenly, they're thinking about you again, replaying those words, trying to figure out what's beneath the surface. Why is this so powerful? Because it taps into a basic truth of human nature, the desire for what we don't fully understand. When you don't lay everything out for them, when you leave gaps for them to fill, it sends a signal that there's more to you than meets the eye. It keeps them intrigued, curious, and above all, wanting more. You don't need to flood their phone with constant texts or make them feel overwhelmed by your presence. No, you do the opposite. You create space. You allow them to long for the moments when they do hear from you. And when you finally do text, you make it count. Think about the feeling you get when someone is on your mind but isn't constantly texting you, isn't always available. It drives you wild, doesn't it? That very same feeling is what you want to create. When you text with intention, when your words feel purposeful and loaded with subtle hints, you pull them deeper into the vortex of wanting. The absence between messages leaves them wondering, what is she doing? Who is she with? Why is she not here right now? That's when their curiosity gets the best of them, and they start longing for more of you. The way you text matters more than you realize. It's not just about what you say, it's about how you say it. When you mix just the right amount of warmth with an intriguing layer of distance, you've found the sweet spot. It's the push and pull that creates the tension. You give them just enough to feel drawn in, but not so much that they feel satisfied. The key is to stay just out of reach, letting them feel your presence in the gaps between your words, in the silence of the moments when you don't respond immediately, and the impact is profound. You'll notice that as you make them crave your attention, they'll start paying more attention to what you send. Every word you say will carry weight, and every text will hold an energy that wasn't there before. But it's not just the words themselves, it's the feeling they leave behind. When you text with intention, it lingers in their thoughts. They'll replay your messages in their mind, feeling a pull towards you that isn't easily shaken. Timing is everything. The perfect moment to send a message isn't when you're eager, desperate for a reply. No, it's when you've let enough time pass for the longing to grow. You're not too eager, not too available. You've mastered the art of making them want you more by creating space and keeping things tantalizingly just out of reach. That's when they begin to crave the next message, the next interaction, the next piece of you. In relationships, the key to making someone crave your presence, especially through something as simple as a text, is understanding the delicate balance between attention and distance. You don't need to overwhelm them with words. You don't need to constantly express your feelings. What you need to do is create a dynamic where they start to realize just how much they want to hear from you, to feel your energy again. Every text should feel like a gift, like a glimpse of something deeper, a spark that ignites a longing they can't ignore. When you make them feel this way, you won't just be someone they want to talk to, you'll be someone they crave. There's something intoxicating about keeping someone on the edge of their seat, isn't there? That delicate balance between knowing when to pull back and when to move closer. It's a fine line, and once you master it, the desire that builds will leave them wanting more than they ever thought possible. The secret is simple. Always leave them with a sense of mystery, a sense that there's more to uncover. When you text, let your words be like small, tantalizing breadcrumbs that they must follow to get closer to the whole story. This isn't about giving everything away. It's about creating a subtle, irresistible pull that draws them in. Have you ever noticed how someone can become infinitely more attractive when they aren't constantly around? It's in the moments when they're absent that you feel their presence most. It's a paradox, really. You create desire not by overloading the senses, but by stepping back and giving them space to breathe, to miss you. The pauses between your texts should be intentional. Each one should feel like it's been carefully considered, like a gift that you've wrapped up with thoughtfulness and care. When you text without expectation, without needing a response, you shift the energy, you shift the dynamic. Now they're the ones left wondering, the longer the wait, the deeper the craving. But here's the catch. It's not just the timing that matters. It's the way you make them feel in those moments when you do decide to reach out. You don't need to make grand declarations or send lengthy messages. What works better is the text that feels casual yet charged, light but heavy with meaning. You keep them guessing, but just enough to make them desperate to know more. There's power in restraint, power in leaving out details, power in keeping some of yourself just beyond their grasp. Think of the silence between your texts as an invitation. It's a silent promise that something more is coming. It's the art of suggestion, leaving them hanging on your every word, making them wonder what's next. Every time you allow a gap between texts, it builds anticipation. Anticipation is a beautiful thing because it makes them focus, makes them crave the next message. Without it, the conversation would lose its spark, but with it, they'll be hooked, replaying every word, trying to decipher what you really mean. What you'll notice is that as they begin to crave more of your presence, they'll hang on to every little hint you give. It's not about what you say, but how you leave them wanting more. In that space, in the moments when you're not texting, they will be thinking of you. They will start to feel the weight of your absence and begin to long for the next time you'll reach out. It's in those gaps, those spaces between your words, that they'll find themselves imagining what you could be doing, who you could be with, and what you might be thinking. This kind of connection isn't about constant communication or bombarding someone with messages. It's about creating an atmosphere where every word, every sentence has weight. And when you do text, it's not about saying everything that's on your mind. It's about saying just enough to make them want to know more. Let them be the one to reach out, to chase after the next piece of the puzzle. Keep them wondering, keep them guessing. Let them feel the desire, the intrigue, and the draw that pulls them closer to you. As you create this space, this tension, you'll notice a shift. What was once a casual conversation will begin to feel different. There's a magnetism in your words now, a kind of energy that wasn't there before. You've managed to stay just out of reach, yet you're closer than ever. They're beginning to crave the way you make them feel, the way you keep them hanging on every word. And as they begin to feel that pull, they'll find themselves becoming more invested, more eager for the next moment, the next connection. The beauty of this, it's only the beginning.